Princess Serena, not Princess Serena, and today is my fourth video with the CCPP collab, celebrating collections, people, and pins. And this is organized by the lovely Val at Singer Family Adventures, and there's going to be a bunch of amazing channels in my description with videos showing their pins with this month's theme, Inspirational Women and Girls. So this is to pay homage to Mother's Day that happened a week ago. And one of the characters I'm going to be showing you is a mother, but they're all inspirational nonetheless. I'm going to be showing you three characters. One Disney, one Disney owned, and one that's completely not Disney. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to be showing you all the pins of each character that I own, but the criteria I set out for myself was it has to just be of the character on its own. So, kicking us off is Rapunzel. She is so inspirational. I mean, the girl was locked in a tower her whole life and was able to see the outside through her window, which arguably is more torturous than not having a window at all because she sees what she's missing out on. And despite all of that and her circumstances, she still finds a way to adapt to her situation and finds the good in it and picks up painting. In this pin specifically, she's painting her journal and you can see what she's painting all around her. Of course, this doesn't make the situation okay, but it's about her finding strength within that situation. And even outside of the tower wall, she still continues to paint, like in the series, which just isn't the series style. If you're new here, I'm obsessed with Tangle the series, and all the other pins I'm about to show you of her is from the series and their fantasy. Another reason she's inspirational is, even when she does realize that Mother Gothel's been lying to her and using her, she still is able to trust human beings. Like, that is hard for a person, when they're betrayed like that. But she's still open to getting to know people and going with her whole heart in. This could have been like a villain origin story, to be honest, Rapunzel. Her being locked up in her tower and then she realizes she was being only used for her hair. And then all of a sudden she uses her hair for evil. But instead of that, she actually goes out and makes sure the citizens of the kingdom of Corona really are safe and well loved. And you see that in season 1 of the series. You really see her taking care of everyone and then also being a great friend and a great girlfriend. And she chose the light, not the dark. This could have been a what if of Rapunzel. What if she gave into her darkness and just not that this girl has any darkness in her, or does she? You'll have to see the series and see how this is explored, because this is actually taken in context of the show. Whereas this is not. But reflecting mirror, didn't do that on purpose. To not push aside her past, because in the series it definitely does acknowledge how it was really hard and troubling for her and processing her past. And she even gets to see, the tower being destroyed. She also takes the time to really reflect on her own feelings, and that I was really surprised how much they really deep dived into that in the show, and just being able to be okay with her past, but not erasing it at the same time. That's really inspirational. So speaking of a villain origin story that Rapunzel could have been, my next woman is Regina from Once Upon a Time. So you may be confused because she has killed thousands and thousands of people. But, I think a really important message of this show and that people should really realize in life is you are not defined by your past actions if you are willing to change. I mean, of course, she's still responsible. There's a difference between not being defined and being responsible. She is holding responsibility for her past, in the middle seasons when she's trying to redeem herself and everything, and just seeing at the end how she 100% redeemed herself and is loved by others and loves herself, and it's just such a beautiful story. So the reason why I think this woman over here, this murderer, is inspirational is because, first of all, it takes a lot to put your pride aside and just to be okay, I'm going to do well, not for me and not for the validation of others, but for my son. So she adopted her son Henry, and like beginning of season 2-ish, she, you know, really wanted to change and she tried, but it was really realistically portrayed because it's not like she woke up one day and then she was good and everyone accepted her at the end. It's like, you know, she tried, but she fell into her dark ways. But despite all of the obstacles, all the sad things that has happened to her through season 1 to 7, she went from an evil queen to an evil mayor to the good queen. But going back to this spin, because you got to see this, it's gorgeous. She really dissects and unlearn the way she used to behave towards others. Like, you know, the main motivation for her was like her mom killed her true love, and it's because of Snow White as a kid telling her about it, and it was just really hard for her to trust people. And time again, you know, she didn't want to embrace this, you know, label of evil queen, but everyone was showing her like how much they hated her and like they viewed her that way. So she started viewing herself that way and she really didn't see herself as redeemable. So I find the show really reflects, like, as she gets more and more villainous, that's like the less and less hope that she has. And a big theme of the show is hope, and the fact that like she goes from doing that to like sacrificing herself and really being there for others. And you can tell like it's nothing to do with, oh, I just want them to like think that I'm good and I'm not good enough for them, so I'm gonna be good enough for them. Like, it's really comes from her heart, and her heart is from black to red, you know, and she took the darkness outside of her little by little, and it's just such a joy to watch her arc. And yeah, I just find her really inspirational. Like, you know, you could be at one point, doesn't matter how extreme you are on that point, but you could get to the point you want to be, and there's ups and downs and you can't really predict how it's going to go. I think a really important part of being inspirational is kind of accepting yourself. Like, of course, being an inspiration to others is great through actions, but it's so important to accept yourself. Like, this is kind of the anti-inspirational character, if that makes sense. Like the anti-hero, but anti-inspirational, because it's like, you know, she's not inspiring because of the things she's done and the acts she's portrayed. It's just kind of her journey of loving herself despite that. Everyone makes mistakes, maybe to not this extreme, ripping people's hearts out or anything, but like, you know, just being able to work on yourself and getting to a point of you could look yourself in the mirror and say like, wow, you know, I do love myself and I accept myself. And loving yourself isn't condoning the actions and the mistakes you've made in the past, just accepting them and learning from them. And, you know, if you see others kind of going down that path, helping them as well, like Regina does in season 7 with Ivy/Gisela. So the last woman that I'm speaking about today is not a Disney character or a character at all. It's Miss Ariana Grande herself, which I have a little pin collection if you haven't seen. And I'm wearing her hat and her sweater today. God is a woman. I mean, woman, you maybe seen it throughout the video and thought, oh, clever, you know, it's about the video, like inspirational women. But like, not only that, literally Ariana Grande like embodies woman empowerment and just rights to everybody. If I like flip the camera right now, you would just see like all my Ariana Grande stuff. It's like pins, Ariana Grande, and like photos. Like, that is my room. But going back to pins here. So here is One Love Manchester. And so she organized that event just in 2 weeks after that whole unfortunate event at that concert. I'm not going to get into that. She could have totally quit the industry, went silent for a while, or just like carried on like nothing happened, but she did none of those things. Instead, she came back and like really voiced and like didn't shy away. And it must have been so hard for her to like say, you know what, if I didn't say anything, like that's what they want, and then hate wins, but love has to win. And she did a whole concert, you know, raising money for the victims and their families and everything. And it was just so special. And I remember seeing that live, like on YouTube. And just through her music as well. Like, she talks about, you know, mental health openly. You know, it normalizes anxiety and everything. Like, she has a song Breathing, and, you know, like, it's sounds silly, you know, to people that don't experience it, like breathing, yeah, but like sometimes it is so hard to breathe. But my favorite song is Get Well Soon, which is the box that you saw behind me throughout this video. The lyrics are on the box. It says, "They say my system is overloaded. Girl, what's wrong with you? Come back down." And on the inside, it says, "Call me right on the phone. I'll be there." And on the inside, actually, all my pin backs will be there. So Wrinkle, if you're watching, I love this. Oh my gosh, she got it for me for my birthday this year. And Get Well Soon, like whenever I'm like in such a dark time and like really sad and beating up like myself over something, I blast that song. Makes me cry sometimes when I listen to that song. It's just so special to me. And she's very much into, beyond her songs too, like self-care and like, you know, advocates therapy and like breaks the stigma of like LGBT. Like I remember this interview moment where they're like, oh yeah, like your heels, like let's talk about them. And she didn't want to just be defined by her outfit. Like that's so ridiculous. So her response was like, oh yeah, my brother taught me how to wear these. Like, oh my gosh, obsessed. He's so great, you know? And she just seems just like such a genuine person, and she's so herself, and she is so silly and so out there, like, and I just see myself in her sometimes, like her personality. She is very inspiring when she's sassy as well, just like putting people in their place, rightfully so, because they're like women bashing or just like, you know, stuff like that. She really like ingrains in her fans, like, you know, we are not defined by a significant other, by a job, by a moment, like you are you, and it's beautiful. And she really is just uplifting. I guess there's nothing left to say. There's no tears left to cry over here. But yeah, the pins. So yeah, break up with your girlfriend, no tears left to cry, dangerous woman, and just one that says her name on it, and then thank you next. And that's another thing, like she took such pain, like the most painful period of her life. Like she lost Mac Miller, she Manchester, like one thing after the next, like it was wild. And then like a broken relationship, you know, her engagement, and she turned it into art and like learned from it. She really talks about that openly and just like is so honest with her fans, whether it's her like political beliefs or just like other opinions and like, you know, causes and the state of the world or just in general. She stands for everything that is good, and she's human, unlike a character, and you know, she has faults, but you know, overall, like she's just such an inspiration to me. Here's an overview of my inspirational women pins. We have Rapunzel representing light and Regina Mills representing dark, though we've seen that they could be either extreme or anywhere in between, right? It's not black and white. And we have Miss Ariana Grande. We have a variety of different types of inspirational women. So that's it for my inspirational women pins. I hope you enjoyed. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more pin related content from me every Tuesday. I'm actually not here right now as I'm posting this. I am on vacation, not to Disney, but to Alberta, Canada. I'm visiting all the mountains and I am so excited because I'm Canadian and I've never been on the West Coast. So I was like, this is pathetic. We gotta go. First, I can't say post-COVID, it's still COVID. Like during COVID airplane vacation. But I'm gonna be careful and I'm gonna rep my Disney masks. And yeah, I would love to know who you think the most inspirational Disney character or non-Disney character is. And as always, take care of yourselves and have a magical day. Bye.